going to be a force for good and a very important sorcerer.
The following is an original production of the Sorcerer Radio Network.
Are you insane?
Broadcasting live from Music City,
Walt Disney's
WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney.
Hey, Michael, mi amigo, pay attention, it's showtime.
So it is, and what darling people I have sitting under me.
With Kristen and Aljon.
He better start the show rolling.
WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney on Sorcerer Radio. Happy Big Hero 6 Day, and we are very happy to be celebrating 5 years of being on Sorcerer Radio. Kristen, can you believe it? This month, our anniversary month on Sorcerer Radio? Crazy. 5 years later, we've got tons of shows and a big announcement. WDW Tiki Room this weekend will be having all kinds of shows uploaded and ready for you to download for free, courtesy of the We Be Geeks Network. We've got great shows from our 5-year history, interviews with the likes of Billy D. Williams, Melissa Joan Hart, Raven Simone, Ashley Eckstein. We've got Steven Stanton in there. Voice actors from Disney, Star Wars. We've got Rob. Yeah, right. Jeffrey. You gotta love D23's Jeffrey Epstein. So we've got so many great shows for you to check out, and all of that will be released every single day this month. So just be refreshing the feed and check out WeBeGeeks.net for on-demand, shows from WDW Tiki Room over the course of 5 years, including some of our great guests today. So we've got a huge show lined up for you. Kristen has got tons and tons of food and wine news for you and reviews. Where did you go this past week, Kristen?
We were at Disney.
Oh, yeah. And instead of doing your typical trip report, which we'll save for the next week's show, you were able to talk to a very special celebrity Disney chef. Who was that?
Chef Todd English.
Now, you might know Todd English from a restaurant Kristen and I have frequented, Bluzoo. So you'll be able to check that out. And how was it talking to the chef, Kristen?
It was great.
What a nice guy. So we're going to talk to the rocker himself. Yes, he loves playing guitar, so we have that in common too. So I tell you what, we'll also have Dan Barnes. His Disney 411 is going to be talking about a lot of what's going on in Disney films. Quite notably, of course, today is the big release day for Big Hero 6 hitting theaters. To get your tickets, why don't you go ahead and log on to WDWTikiRoom.com and click on our link to Fandango and pick up tickets for Disney's Big Hero 6. Now, Dan Barnes is going to be covering a lot of stuff, including the Disney Movies Anywhere app and ABC Family's 25 Days of Christmas. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be a lot
I can't believe it's that time already.
I know, it's that time of year already. And we've got that going on. Of course, we've got announcements from Marvel, which are going to be really huge. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Big Bubba B was able to screen Big Hero 6, and he's going to be calling in with his review of Disney's latest animated motion picture, and it is favorable. We love Big Hero 6. And, of course, let's go ahead and talk now about one of your big adventures in food and wine. Now, everybody knows that you're an author. You've got your books at Dining at Disney, the Disney.com guides to Epcot Food and Wine Festival, to just dining at Disney and Epcot, all kinds of great tips. But what people may not know is that there are a lot of events that go on outside of the Disney park, and in fact, outside of Epcot for the Food and Wine Festival. Kristen, one of those events you'd like to actually give us a little bit of a review of. So what do we have up first?
Okay, well, let's talk about the Food and Wine Weekends that takes place over at Waldorf Astoria Orlando, which is the Bonnet Creek area right near downtown Disney.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity when this event kicked off, and it goes along the same time as the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. So their first night kicking it off was September 19th, and I already have talked about it before. It was the Global Venture wine pairing dinner that happened over at Bowl and Bear, so I checked that one out back in September. And then this trip I checked out, it's called Bar du Chocolat and Champagne Tasting. That was one of the events that I checked out, and it takes place at Peacock Alley, which is their little lounge area. Actually, I shouldn't say little. It's a very good-sized lounge located right off of the lobby. And what they had is you picked a variety of different desserts, and each dessert had a different price, and they ranged anywhere from $2 to $7, and then they also had champagne as well by the glass, and you pick out which desserts you want, and like I said, you pay per dessert, but they were fantastic.
I remember specifically you liking the dark chocolate truffles and the macaroons there, the chocolate macaroons.
Oh,
I mean, it was a sea of chocolate.
Oh, I love dark chocolate. I'm not a fan of milk chocolate. It's just too sweet for me. But if somebody says this is really, really good milk chocolate, I'll go with it. But in that, yeah, I always will choose the dark chocolate. And there was milk chocolate and dark chocolate, but the table was huge with desserts. And I'll have a review up very soon on that event. But
on diningatdisney.com, by the way, diningatdisney.com. Check it out.
Oh, and with that event, you don't have to schedule a particular time. It happens from 6:30 to 10:30, and as you feel like grabbing some chocolate, you just walk over to the table, you tell them what you want, they'll wrap it up in a pretty little box for you. If you want champagne, get your glass of champagne. So it's not something that's a very specific time. It has a time frame, and you just do it at your leisure, and it happens on Friday and Saturday night.
What a great romantic time, too. I mean, you can go down there with your friends or your loved one and, like you said, get a to-go box and bring it back to the room. So there you have it.
Bring it back to the room with the champagne. Perfect for an adult night out.
Yes.
Then what we had done before then was called the Art of Sushi Pairing, and it takes place over at their Data Bar and Sushi Lounge, and that's inside the Hilton Orlando Bonnet Creek, which is right next door. You can either walk over there, it's a short walking distance, or they have on-site a golf cart that will drive you over to and from the two different hotels. So you can experience both of the hotels without really having to do much walking. But it is a bento box with a variety of different things in them, and it's paired with beer, sake, or wine. And the menu and what your options are, whether it's beer, sake, wine, they vary from weekend to weekend. So it's never the same.
Nice.
When we were there, it was either $30 or $35 per person, and you left full. And you had three glasses of whatever you chose. When we were there, the options were either beer or wine or sake, and we did one of each. And it's a good size pour. It's not like this little itty bitty 2-ounce pour. And you had 3 glasses of wine, and I would say they were probably 5 ounces. My wine was 5 ounces each, and then you had your sake, which is your typical standard sake portion, and you had 3 of those.
Oh yeah.
But it was the food is really good there.
Mm-hmm.
Presentation is really nice as well. And
the bento boxes seem a little bit larger than normal bento boxes, so that was always fun for me because, yes, I did leave very full.
They're definitely larger than the bento boxes over at Tokyo Dining and Epcot.
Yeah.
But I thought the food was fantastic.
Absolutely. The sake pairing is something I definitely will suggest because, and you actually liked it because I had you sample some of it, and the sake does taste great with sushi. I mean, come on, they're both Japanese, they're both rice. I mean, you have the rice wine, you have the sushi, so that's a perfect pairing.
If I had to do it over again, I would have done the sake as well. It's just a better pairing, but again, they're meant to go together. So.
Right. Well, the wine was good as well, but...
oh, yeah, the 3 wines were fabulous that they brought out. They're all... you had a choice of either white or red, and I did the white. All 3 excellent wines, but I just liked the sake pairing better than I did the wine pairing. But, oh, yeah, they were both amazing.
Very nice. Well, I tell you, I enjoyed it there as well. The staff over there at the bar, at the chocolate bar, as well as the sushi bar were just very nice, very outgoing, very friendly. The staff that I would expect out of a Hilton or at the Waldorf Astoria, and they did really, really well. So kudos to them.
I do want to say it is the last weekend of the Food and Wine Festival, so therefore it is also the last weekend of Food and Wine Weekend over at Waldorf Astoria. And I would highly recommend, if you have a chance to go over there and check these things out, they're well worth it. I have been told by people that the Royal Tea that they do on Sundays from 3 to 5 is actually better than the one that's over at Grand Floridian. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but yeah. Oh, and if you want an adult night out, they do have it's called Astoria After Dark, and it takes place in their kids club. And the kids club they do some fun activities, but it also includes dinner for them as well. So that way it gives the parents some adult time and, kids some fun play time away from each other. So I think that's always nice. You have that opportunity to take advantage of things like that.
Sure. Well, it gets high marks from Kristen and myself. Definitely something you need to check out. And Kristen, where can people find more information about the events going on at the Waldorf Astoria and at the Hilton? Maybe if they want to plan for something for this weekend or maybe in the future, where do they need to check that out?
It's going to be at diningatdisney.com. And if you go to the website on any of the page on the sidebar, you will see under other dining events, you'll see the logo for the Food and Wine Weekends at Waldorf Astoria Orlando, and you can just click that and all of the information is there for you.
Outstanding. Please check that out. Kristen, thank you for that great review. We're going to be back with more great food talk. Kristen's interview with celebrity chef from the Swan and Dolphin Resort's bluzoo restaurant, Celebrity Chef Todd English. We're going to have that discussion coming up, as well as Kristen's review of what's going down over at the Food and Wine Classic at Swan and Dolphin. So stand by. More WDW Tiki Room on the way on Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com.
Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com. Leave your show comments, requests, and discussion topics on the new WDW Tiki Room voicemail. Call 850-888-TIKI. That's 850-888-8454. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at WDW Tiki Room.
Hey Sorcerer Radio listeners, this is Disneyland Correspondent Big Bubba, and I'm going to give you my quick review of Walt Disney Animation Studios' Big Hero 6, which is out in theaters today. From the makers of Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen comes Disney's first animated movie that features Marvel comic book characters. I watched Big Hero 6 last week in 3D, and I have to tell you, Disney and Marvel did not disappoint. Hiro Hamada is a 14-year-old robotics genius, and with a little push from his brother Tadashi, he decides to try and get admission to the local Institute of Technology, where his brother also attends. During his tour of the school, he meets a whole new set of friends who are also inventors just like him. Wasabi, Honey Lemon, Go-Go Tamago, and the school mascot, Fred. Also, he's introduced to Tadashi's latest invention, Baymax, a personal healthcare companion who inflates when you say the magic word, ouch. When a horrible accident happens at the school's showcase, Baymax sees Hiro as his patient and wants to cure Hiro of all his symptoms. But soon, they uncover a diabolical plot and ask the help of his friends to stop the masked villain by using their inventions to make them superheroes. Hiro also invents a brand new suit for Baymax, complete with super strength and rocket-propelled boots. From this point of the movie, things really take off, if you know what I mean. So much more action and adventure come with this film as Baymax flies around San Francisco with Hiro on his back. The computer-generated animation and the 3D gives you the visual and the feeling that you're flying along with Baymax in the air. But what really had me was the comedy. Big Hero 6 crew's frantic banter, overreactive attitudes made for some great laughs, but Baymax really stole the show with his curiosity, low battery, and fist-bumping style. Whether you're a die-hard comic book nerd or a family of young and old, everyone will get a great adventure when you go watch Big Hero 6. And remember, it's Marvel, so make sure you stay until the end of the credits to see an epic scene that will catch you by surprise. Also, go to Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com to read my full review of the movie and see what Walt Disney World and Disneyland have in store for Big Hero 6 when you visit the park. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at big_Bubba_B.
Greetings, program. I'm Cindy Morgan, Yori from Tron, and you are listening to WDW Tiki Room with Kristen and Aljon on Sorcerer Radio.
Get plugged in.
What about one of them mousey little doohickeys?
Disney pop culture news. It's the 411. 411.
411.
Back in February here on the 411, I gave you guys a quick preview of the Disney Movies Anywhere app, which launched later that month in the iTunes store for the Apple devices. And now, this week, the popular app has been made available in Google Play stores for the Android devices. The Disney Movies Anywhere app opens an entire library of digital titles from Disney to Marvel to the Muppets, and can be accessed through all of your Disney-related accounts. And like I said before, is available for download in the iTunes store and now the Google Play Store. I know it's a week removed, but I gotta be honest, I have a small case of the post-Halloween blues. And it doesn't help that you go into the malls and the stores and you see all the Christmas holiday decorations up and for sale. But hey, let's face it, the holiday season will be here before you know it, so you might as well just embrace it. And what better way to do that than to check out the ABC Family's 25 Days of Christmas schedule. It's the family-friendly network's annual month-long celebration with all types of holiday movies and TV specials. This year, highlights include the premiere of Pixar's special Toy Story That Time Forgot, new holiday episodes of Baby Daddy and Melissa and Joey, and for the first time ever, ABC Family's drama series will debut holiday episodes including Chasing Life, Switched at Birth, The Fosters, and Pretty Little Liars, which will all air on the week of December 8th. The complete list of 25 Days of Christmas 2014 could be found on abcfamily.com or by following at ABCF25Days on Twitter. I'm Dan Barnes, and this has been Disney and Pop Culture. To get your 411 on all the Disney and pop culture news, get plugged in on srsounds.com.
And now a word from Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars voice actor Steven Stanton.
I am Lord Henry Mystic, the proprietor and owner of Mystic Manor in Hong Kong, Disneyland.
This is Steven Stanton, the captain of the Mark Twain Riverboat, and you're listening to Sorcerer Radio.
Working for the weekend on WDW Tiki Room on Sorcerer Radio. Hey there, it's Aljon. We've got big news for you. Did you know that Star Wars Episode 7 has a brand new title? As of yesterday, StarWars.com recently released the name of the new Star Wars Episode 7 movie. It's called, drumroll please, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Of course, you know the original trilogy folks are coming back. You've got Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Anthony Daniels is coming back as C-3PO, Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, and yes, Kenny Baker himself as R2-D2. The film also stars John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Domhnall Gleeson, and Max von Sydow, and you can check out the film as it hits theaters this time next year, December 18th, 2015. Now, last week, while we were at Walt Disney World, Marvel dropped a bomb, and there are so many movies coming out. Pretty crazy stuff if you ask me, and I'm super excited. Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige made a special announcement during a fan event held at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood that's changing the landscape of Marvel films in the cinematic universe. Phase 3 films include Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. So here's all the Marvel movie news. Of course, we know, and you've seen recently, especially on ABC, the Avengers Age of Ultron film coming out May 1st, 2015. Ant-Man coming out July 17th. Those are things we know. But Captain America, the sequel, is going to be called Civil War. And Captain America, as we know, has just been awesome this past year. Doctor Strange, brand new hero to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, coming out November 4th, 2016. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, way looking forward to that, May 5th of 2017. Thor, Ragnarok, End of Days Are Coming, July 28th, 2017. Black Panther, the King of Wakanda himself, hits big screens November 3rd of 2017. Get this, The Avengers Will Return, Infinity War, Part 1, May 4th of 2018. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, will be on the big screen July 6th of 2018. Inhumans, November 2nd of 2018. Secret group of, they're not called mutants, they're called Inhumans. They have powers. Looking forward to that. And Avengers Infinity War Part 2, May 3rd of 2019. It is indeed a great time to be a Marvel fan. Excelsior. We've got more great stuff coming up. We've got Chef Todd English. Kristen's going to be talking to him about bluzoo and things going on at Swan and Dolphin Resort. So stick around right here on WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney, srsounds.com. WDW Tiki Room 2014 event coverage made possible by Halloween Express. For Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars costumes, visit HalloweenExpress.com. MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Book your Disney vacation or cruise today. Jedi Mouseketeer. Geeky news from the universe of Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars at www.JediMouseketeer.com. DiningAtDisney.com. The happiest plate on earth. Dining tips and more at DiningAtDisney.com. WDW After Dark, the weekly webcast for adult Disney fans at www.wdwafterdark.com. And Sorcerer Radio, all Disney music all day long at srsounds.com.
Broadcasting live from the happiest place on earth, here's Kristen and Aljon.
So today we are here with Chef Todd English, and we are over at the bluzoo, and it is the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic. Lots going on. Okay, so how do you come up with a menu item that you do for this?
Well, first of all, wonderful to have you here at bluzoo, and this is an extraordinary event. I mean, we started this, it's now in its 4th year, and it also happens to be celebrating the hotel's 25th anniversary. So it's amazing that it's really been so successful in the sense of the food and beverage here. And there's an enormously talented team that's been here. Actually, Tony Porcellini, who may be walking in any moment now, we may get him on radio. He's quite a character, has been here since day one, and has really developed what the food and beverage program is here. He was instrumental in bringing me here, and my team here in the bluzoo concept. So, a roundabout way to get into your question, which I will get to it. Don't worry, I will get to it. But, as far as the inspiration, the restaurant was, they wanted a seafood place here, so we came up with the idea of this is the bluzoo. I was actually at the aquarium with my son in Boston when he was young, and we were trying to come up with a name for the restaurant, and we had just seen a video of this amazing underwater episode of I think in the Great Barrier Reef. I'm not sure. It's like a big zoo, like a big blue zoo in there with all these amazing animals. So I said, say that again, kid. And so he ended up naming the restaurant.
Oh, that's really cool.
So we came up with the name, and we get to celebrate really seafood cooking all around the world. So that's really, my thing is Mediterranean, but I love Asian flavors, so there's a lot of that. We have a miso marinated sea bass on the menu. Like it was inspired out of Japan, the old mother's maple. It was a staple. It was a preservation method for cooking, and then also they would cook it in a sugary, delicious place. I'm sure you've maybe tried it. If not, I recommend it highly. And then again, we take food from Mediterranean. We take food from New England, seafood, and all those kind of classics. So you have a lobster roll with my own twist on it. We'll do a brown butter mayonnaise. We do a white clam pizza, which is we take chopped little neck clams from the East Coast, lay them out on a flatbread with lots of garlic, olive oil, and oregano, and a little pepperoni and cheese.
Don't you just love how the chef sparkles all the food? all the food makes me hungry. Talk about it.
Right. I mean, that does excite me. I can taste it when I'm talking about it. Yeah.
It's great that after all these years of cooking and cooking at the highest level, that you still get excited about the food.
Yeah, it really is. I'm still every day I wake up excited about what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to discover. And I'm doing this for 30 years now, and it's still new and exciting, and there's new things always coming down the pike as far as what's happening with food. So I'm just, and this is a wonderful venue for us to experiment with a lot of the new things that we're trying, and we have a very great clientele that comes in and really supports us. Very good.
How did you get started into cooking to begin with?
I don't know. I got into it when it definitely was not cool to be a chef in the United States. There was no Food Network. There was maybe one food magazine, and maybe Gourmet in those days. It just was not something that when you would go to your career counselor and say, I want to be a chef, because it was just, and I actually did say that. And they put me in a home economics class, and we opened up a box of Betty Crocker cake mix, and we made a cake, and I said, no, I don't think it's
Not quite the same.
I came from a family of good cooks.
Okay.
I had seen, that cake didn't come from a box. And so I decided, well, okay, maybe there's not a career in this, and there wasn't really a lot of options, so I went on to pursue baseball, and I went to a regular college, and I realized I'm not necessarily into this world that I was going down, and went to cooking school. And ended up getting accepted to the Culinary Institute of America, did an internship at La Côte Basque in New York, and I really never looked back then. I just said, this is what I want to do. And that was 1982. So,
cooking out of a box is the only way I can cook anything. I leave the cooking to her.
Well, you know what?
And professionals like yourself.
And I'm not going to knock cooking out of a box, because today there's actually really good options in that world. Much more so. Like there's great pancake mixes of organic, pancake mixes that come out of Vermont and the Midwest, and they have whole wheat. And so, I'm not knocking it. It just wasn't the option that we have today. We have a lot of options that are great.
You mentioned, while we're getting more of our listener questions up here, you mentioned the Mediterranean. What part of the Mediterranean is your favorite? My wife and I have been lucky enough to travel to the Mediterranean. And where is your favorite part of the Mediterranean, and what serves as maybe a muse for you when you cook?
Well, it will never really stray far from Italy, but that's my roots on my mother's side, and this is something very special about Italy to me, and that's my own, my own basic love of what I love about the Mediterranean. But if you go around that whole Mediterranean Sea, every country that touches the Mediterranean Sea and beyond has something special to offer. So if you think about the nomadic tribes that came up through, Arabic tribes that traveled up through Africa and brought cuisines and their style of cooking and a lot of legumes. And then you talk about the spice trade and that era and that time and what came from India to that world and how all those things came together. It's pretty fascinating. So the spice mixtures, Hoetzel and there's so many that come out of North Africa that are amazing. Hamamara and Hoetzel, and I could go on and on about what I love so much about that world, and how it settled into really dynamic cuisine based on that very simple cooking and based on what they derive from that sea and the mountains. And there's a lot of similarities, although a lot of differences in it. The biggest thing is that olive oil kind of graces everything. Right. And that's one of the cool things about the Mediterranean.
Good olive oil, too.
Really good olive oil. I love olive oil. Right.
Where did you get olive oil as good as you can find from the local restaurants and stuff there that they, make it on site? It's amazing.
It's so amazing. Yeah, it's so amazing that, and now, actually in November is olive oil pressing season. This is when the true extra virgin olive oil hits the market. But when you get it fresh off the press it's really nothing like it. It is delicious and spicy and fruity, and it tastes all the nuances of what that region in particular olive, it produces, and also what. So it's pretty special. But again, olive oil seems to sort of, I would say, grease the way of Mediterranean. Sure. Not a bad thing. Sure. No, that's good.
We were talking a little bit beforehand about, fresh ingredients and things like that. So what is your favorite season to make food for?
Definitely, without a doubt, fall, harvest, when everything's just bursting, it starts around, into July. So I push it a little bit into the end of July, early, through August and September. So when you start getting peaches and porcini mushrooms and chanterelles and the great, incredible seafood that comes north and the northeast, and some of the bigger fish, will actually come in closer to the sea, so you might get some of the really delicious bluefin tuna when they're caught properly, or the great deep water line caught halibut or swordfish line caught, some of the great stripers in season. All those things are so delicious. some of the things that are coming in now that I love. You know, they used to have pumpkins and squashes and beets and a lot of really dark greens, leafy greens that are still coming out of the ocean. Maybe my favorite thing in the world, seafood in the world is Nantucket Bay scallops, which I call them candy of the sea. They're like delicious, wonderful. They literally just a little bit of olive oil and lime juice or a little Tabasco. It's really, it's like sweet. You can't figure out. They're like, you wonder like these scallops, what they're eating for their diet. It really is. You're like eating sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we have a couple really quick questions. We want to thank you again for your time. Our listener, one of our listeners is asking, of all the restaurants, which one do you spend the most time at?
Wow. That's a good question. I mean, I try to get around all of them as much as I can. You know, it's not that I spend one particular. You know, I live in New York, so I would say that probably my food hall is the one that is my home base these days. But you know, my home kitchen is I spend a lot of time in now these days. I'm cooking with my kids, testing new ideas out. So I have a pretty nice kitchen at home. So that's pretty fun.
I have one other reader question, and it is, for somebody who's never been here before, what advice would you give them for what to order or how to go about choosing what to order on your menu?
Wow, that's hard to come up with. I think if you're a little adventurous, the tuna tartare that we do here is really spectacular. We do a liquid nitrogen saffron, not saffron, sriracha. That's the word I'm looking for. Sriracha aioli, which we put over the top, and it kind of smokes on the plate as you eat it, and it's pretty cool. That's kind of the adventurous side of it. If you're feeling adventurous, the tuna tartare dials up to a whole new level. I would say, you know, any of the appetizers, the oysters, obviously, the shrimp cocktail we've had on from day one, the lobster cocktail, all fresh, delicious. You know, we're getting our seafood in from the East Coast every day. We have some great purveyors off the coast of Florida that we bring in a lot of seafood. So sometimes just the simply grilled fish of the day is delicious, and then you have a choice of vinaigrettes as well. So those are, and then again, don't miss the Cantonese lobster, which is one of our favorites. It's been on since day one. And it's crispy fried lobster with a sweet and sour glaze. It's yummy and delicious, and it really is a crowd pleaser.
Chef, thank you so much for joining us.
Don't forget desserts too.
Oh, amazing desserts here. Yeah, and where can our listeners find you on the internet? I think you're everywhere.
I cover across all social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I am on Flickr. I'm in also Instagram, and all at Chef Todd English.
Absolutely. Go ahead and check out cheftodenglish.com. And Kristen, anything else? Because we are a Disney station, I'm going to ask you what your favorite Disney ride is before we sign off.
I'm a big Aerosmith fan.
Oh, yeah.
Rock and roller coaster.
That's
I was going to say,
that's what we just got out of.
Spare time when you say Chef Todd.
I'm a huge rocker. Yeah, I do. I like to rock and roll, and I love music, so it kind of fits both of my worlds.
There you go. Passionate food and music. Thanks for joining us here on Sorcerer Radio at SRSounds.com.
Thanks, guys.
The WDW Tiki Room with Kristen and Aljon. Sorcerer Radio, SRSounds.com.
Kristen, you had one last thing you wanted to mention before we signed off for today. What last food event are we going to talk about?
We are talking about the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic.
Can I tell you how much I love this event?
Tell me, how much do you love it?
It really made my vacation. We planned our vacation around Food and Wine Festival over at Epcot, and when we discovered this event, the Food and Wine Classic at Swan and Dolphin, last year, we did it. We loved it so much, we did it twice, and I've never regretted that, and this year was no exception. I absolutely loved it this year.
Me too. But I like these kinds of events. With this one in particular, you have entertainment. There are 3 live bands that perform over the evening. It takes place from 5:30 to 9, so you have 3.5 hours. you have the option to either purchase by ticket, or you can purchase by buying the package for the evening, which includes your food and your drink. So you don't have to, you can go up and say, I love the sushi over at Kimono, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the same sushi again. And for the price, it's fantastic. I mean, it's $95, which per person, and that includes all the food, all the drink, as much as you want, the entertainment, all that stuff is included. And they do give each person a plastic plate and a wine glass that go together. Similar, just like the ones that they have right now at the Epcot Food and Wine Fest, because they ran out of the ones that have the deeper dish to it. But it's, they're pretty much a nice standard one that you get with that. This year they did offer a beer garden. So at the beer garden, which was separate from the main event, it was an upgrade to go into the beer garden. They had various beers from companies like the Orlando Brewing Company. You also had Shipyard, Cigar City, which is a really good local brewery. And as you walked in there, they gave you your own little beer mug. So you got an extra mug in addition to the wine glass that you received when you first got there. And some of the foods that were there was Wiener Schnitzel. You had German potato salad. There was pretzels with various mustards. So that was new this year. That was a really nice addition, I think, to it.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoy this event, and, it's funny. I would definitely suggest getting a package instead of getting the tickets, because the food items and the drinks all come with varied, ticket prices. So to just purchase a package of tickets, you might run out of those really quickly. Yeah,
because each place takes anything from 3 to 6 tickets. For example, over at the dessert one is Laurent Brainlard, and he is a pastry chef. He's actually incredible. We love his ice cream sandwiches. They're the best ice cream sandwiches I've ever had. The ice cream comes on this really nice brioche bread. So it's fantastic. But his desserts, in addition to that, he has 3 other desserts. And each dessert there takes 3 tickets. Ugh. And at $2 a ticket...
It's worth it, though.
No, that's $24, right? No, that's not. Yeah. It's too early for math. That's $24 just for your dessert.
Oh,
so
I'll tell you what.
That gives you an idea of how much money you can end up spending there. Yeah, the $95 is the way to go.
There are so many varied experiences. As you said, every restaurant from the Swan and Dolphin Resort is there. Chef Todd English is there, so you get to maybe see him, get him to sign a cookbook if you want. And there's so many other wonderful chefs from Il Molino and all those great restaurants there. What was your favorite, if you could pick a favorite or maybe 2 of your favorite dishes you sampled that Friday night? Because they actually change the dishes out on Friday and Saturday.
Most of the places have a different menu each night. One of my favorites was the over at Todd English's, because he has a larger booth. One is bluzoo, and the other half of it is Todd English. And at that one, he had a a lobster shot.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah. So good.
Shula's Steakhouse has a roasted tenderloin. That's always good.
The longest line, by the way.
Always a long line for that. The steak is just perfectly cooked there. That restaurant in bluzoo / Todd English always have long lines. So if you want those, you want to do those early in the evening, because the lines by the end of the night are really long for them.
Yeah, definitely go there early and come back for seconds. That's what I do. I can't help myself. The food's so good. So how about maybe any other typical, or any other highlights of the show that you'd like to mention? Maybe some, I don't know. What else did you like about the event?
Oh, wow.
I mean, we always make friends at the event because, it's very much like the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. You have to find a place to camp. You have to find a place to eat your food. And those tables are perfect for you to ask, may I join you? Where are you from? And we're always making friends. We ran into people that listen to Sorcerer Radio. We run into people that love the Dining at Disney website, which is really neat. So that's always fun, right?
Into a couple that was celebrating their anniversary of 23 years, and their names were Anissa and Derek.
Yeah.
And they were readers of Dining at Disney.
How cool is that?
They were super nice.
Yep, and now they're Sorcerer Radio listeners, so they're converts. No, but it's really cool that people are reading about your food reviews on your site, and they're picking things up. I mean, it's wonderful to talk to such a great chef like Todd English, and after all this time, as you heard on the interview, he's still so excited to meet people and talk about the food that he loves so much. So
I love talk to people like him, because the way that they talk about food is so different than the average person who even likes food. There's a completely different passion to chefs and people who love to cook.
Yeah.
And, I did all of the online Top Chef University classes, and you learn these really cool, unique techniques that are used in these, the foams and stuff that you see in some of these menus. When you visit like a signature dining restaurant such as Bluzoo, and you're like, well, how do they do that? Well, those classes that I took online tell you how that stuff is made, and you learn the mother sauces and all that stuff. So for somebody like me who doesn't just love to eat, I truly love to cook, and I love, the culinary history behind food. I mean, I've got books that talk about Spain and France and Germany and Italy and Greece and all of these things culinary-wise. I even have a culinary textbook. So for somebody like me, I could just sit and talk to him for hours about food trends and all kinds of stuff like that, because there's such this excitement, and it's one of those things that I don't get an opportunity to talk to people very often that love food that way.
Well, I love food. I love to eat food, and I love to see you prepare food. And I really enjoyed talking to Chef Todd English, and I appreciate the passion. It's a passion that we found in Lindsay Skillman when last year we did her beverage seminar, and it's something that I found. We actually did the following day a beverage seminar on craft beers, and I love the enthusiasm of our teachers, the sommeliers that actually could teach us about beer. Can you tell us a little bit about the panel, the beer panel we attended?
Wow, was that good. I can say one thing, is last year we did the modern mixology, and this year we did one that's called Beer Please. These are so worth the money that I really believe if you're going to Epcot Food and Wine and you're going to do an extra event, this is where you should go spend your money. Because these people are sommeliers, they are bar certified, they really, really know what they're talking about. And Lindsay Skillman is so enthusiastic and willing to answer any questions that come up with creative cocktails that her class, if you love cocktails, is the one to take. I wanted to do the beer because it's not something that often places have a class that is just about beer. And this one offered, when you sat down, there was food and drink. And they had pretzels along with chorizo chips, some really nice applewood smoked bacon, along with a roll that was made with beer and cheese, a piece of cheese along with it, wasabi peas, and then they had the barley and the hops and things like that for you to look at so you can see what they look like before they're made into beer. There was I would put it as a beer shot. It was probably 1.5 ounces of beer. Then you had 6 glasses in front of you that each had roughly 4 ounces of beer in them, I would say.
Oh, I was feeling pretty good after a couple drinks, for sure.
And they each had a different, some of them were higher alcohol content, close to 8%, and they went through each one, and they explained to you the type of beer it is, how that type of beer is made, a little bit about that particular brewery as well.
Mm-hmm.
They went through all those. To end it, they brought by little sundae glasses with vanilla ice cream in it, and then they came by with a beer that they put over that was like a mocha espresso beer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so good.
Ugh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Which is funny to me that they serve this, because I've tried beer with ice cream before. And the reason I have, not only because I do weird things like this to see how it turns out, if it's good. Like, I've dipped a peanut butter cookie in wine before. So,
I remember.
But peanut butter and jelly. Jelly is great. Wine is great. So why not try it? And
try it.
I tried this one because the announcer for the Nashville Predators, which is Nashville's NHL team, said to me that when he was in college, he went to Notre Dame, that what he had done was take vanilla bean ice cream and put Miller Lite over it, and it was amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
However, I will tell you, it's okay, but this one that we had there was amazing. They paired so perfectly together.
Mm.
It was almost like an adult root beer float.
Exactly right. It was the best root beer float that wasn't a root beer float. Well, I tell you, that class, as you said, definitely worth the money. If you're going to take any type of class, make sure you take it on the opposite day you do your food and wine experience over there at the Classic. But, Kristen, any final thoughts about the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic?
Wow.
Is it a Disney must-do?
I think it's a must-do. I mean, we planned our trip around this event.
We were talking to our friends, Tony Casanova from Disney by the Numbers, Disney Parks Podcast, as well as I can't believe this, I'm going to say it, but as well as Raphael de Verona from the Mouse. And when I was talking about this event, both of them had looked at me at one point and said, Aljon, I've never seen you this happy in your life.
I can hear you say that. That's funny.
I said, yeah, I can't help myself. I have the biggest smile on my face. So as a testament to how good this event and these seminars are, I give it my highest rating possible. Whatever that rating is, think about that and multiply it by 5, and that's my rating.
The food is exceptional. Mm-hmm. It's not your standard fare. The closest to standard fare you're going to find is going to be the fish and chips, which they did do again this year, the following night after we were there.
And it was awesome.
Is the fish and chips, I'm trying to think of where that's from. But it's from Garden Grove. But the fish is a nice thick piece of fish. The batter that's on it is just light and crispy. The chips that are served with it, last year they were a salt and vinegar chip, homemade.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Even if you've been to Garden Grove and you're like, it's okay, when you go and you try this, you're going to be like, this is some of the best fish and chips I've had.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I believe that is the best fish and chips I've ever had. I tell you, that is a great note to leave things on right there. We're wrapping our show up right now. I'd like to thank Disney chef, celebrity chef, Todd English. And for more details on what Todd is up to, please visit his website, cheftodenglish.com. And you'll be getting some really great articles up really soon with Chef Todd English, right?
Yes.
Once again, where can people read up on more Todd English, especially with you, Kristen?
Well, they can read on my website, but they can also, like you said, check out Chef Todd English. He did say that all of his things, such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, is all Chef Todd English. So that makes it very easy for everybody to follow him as well.
Yes, please do. And Kristen, where can people follow you?
Dining at Disney. It's that way. Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Flickr, except YouTube, where it is The Dining at Disney.
And you've just recently reviewed some food and wine, offerings from the Epcot Festival, and that's going to be on your YouTube page, right?
Yes, it is.
So please check that out. You can purchase Kristen's dining guides there for the Disney parks as well at diningatdisney.com. Hey, you can follow me at JediMasketeer.com. So special thanks to your hotel partners that were able to check out all these great events. Kristen, you want to give a shout out to those people?
Yes, that would be Waldorf Astoria, as well as Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Class.
Thank you very much. We really enjoyed everything we experienced during those events, and we definitely suggest that you check out those events and make them part of your Disney vacation. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of myself, I'm Aljon.
And I'm Kristen.
And we'll see you real soon.
Your attention, please.
Sorcerer Radio is the fan-run, award-winning internet radio station that has been entertaining Disney fans for over a decade.
We have dedicated this happy place to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America.
With many weeks' worth of Disney park music, attraction audio, live shows every weekday, as well as our podcasts, you'll easily be transported to your favorite vacation destination anytime while at home, work, or on the go.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Download our free apps for iOS, Android devices. Plan and book your next trip to the Disney parks. Interact with the Disney fan community and get the latest news stories at srsounds.com. Broadcasting the magic every day.
Who are you, if I might ask?
Sorcerer Radio, srsounds.com.
Pardon the interruption. I have some news which I believe you will find most interesting.
Would you like to hear the latest in Marvel television, film, and comic book news? Are you looking for some suggestions on what to pick up on New Comic Book Day? Well, join Mike and Ken every Saturday night at 8 p.m. on Mighty Marvel Geeks here on Sorcerer Radio, your source for all things Marvel.
There is a matter that requires your attention.
Mighty Marvel Geeks, assemble!
All wrapped up here, sir. Will there be anything else?
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Are you a fan of Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel? Well, look no further than JediMasketeer.com. On the Skeeky fan site, you'll find the latest news, videos, information on movies, comics, and more. Check out JediMasketeer.com and follow him on Twitter at JediMasketeer, a proud partner of Sorcerer Radio.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
This podcast is a joint production of the Sorcerer Radio Network, WDW Tiki Room, and the Weeby Geeks Podcast Network. WDW Tiki Room is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or its holdings and is intended for entertainment purposes.